Welcome back. Mobilicom is an end-to-end provider of cybersecurity and smart solutions for drones, robotics, and autonomous platforms. It's a high-tech company that designs, develops, and delivers smart communication solutions that are focused primarily on targeting global drone, robotics, and autonomous system manufacturers. So the company holds a patented technology and unique know-how for mobile mesh networking. It has a large field proven portfolio of commercialized products used in a variety of applications. Mobilicom has grown a global customer base with sales to high-profile customers, including corporates, governments, and military departments. Again, Q&A is available at the bottom of your screen. If you click the button, you can send us a question whenever it suits you, and we will get to those at the end of this presentation. Because we do have joining us Mobilicom CEO Oren Elkayem, and he's joining us live. Oren, welcome. Take it away.
Thank you very much for having me. So thank you everybody for having this presentation and joining us. Okay, let's start. So Mobilicom is traded in Australia from 2017. The company has a large portfolio of IP and know-how that was already acknowledged and received for its core technology designed and developed fully. Based on this IP and technology, we designed products and solutions that are already in the market, certified products and being used by a large customer base. Mobilicom is known for its competitive advantage for its elite security and outstanding performance in harsh environment, as well as the fact that it's being used by tier 1 customers worldwide. And we have been used by government as well as militaries as well. And we are approaching a very large market opportunity that is rapidly growing in the recent years. And we believe that it's right now in the inflection point of the drones, robotics, and autonomous platform. And our role in the industry is an end-to-end provider for those platforms. Let's see in a moment what we mean by our role. So as an end-to-end provider of cybersecurity and smart solutions for drones, robotics, and autonomous platform, we are very much like the automotive industry. If you take your automotive or vehicle, you will find out that it's built from 30,000 pieces, but only, let's say, 8 to 15 pieces are the critical cost elements within the car and the technology elements of the car itself, like the engine, the shift gear, the computer of the car, and such like. In the automotive industry, there are those that manufacture the technology called tier 1, and they are selling their core components to the manufacturers of the vehicles that we are all familiar with, like companies like Audi and BMW and such like. They are buying it from the tier 1 provider, which are large companies in the industries, and those are $50 billion companies that grew over the years when the automotive industry established itself. We would like to duplicate the same business model into the drones, robotics, and autonomous platform market. We would like to provide the key essential elements to the drone and robotics manufacturer, and by that enable them to build the best solution or platform for the market that they pursue. To do that, we already have significant pieces of the drones and robotics even today. The biggest portion of our portfolio that we are known for many years is the communication or mesh networking and data link solution. Those are the elements that enable to control the drones or robots, to receive telemetry from it, and to share or distribute videos or live feeds of information to all the audience or other users in the area. We have over 10 products in the market already. All of them are certified by FAA United States, by FCC in the United States, by CE in Europe, and by Telec in Asia Pacific. Those products are in use and already market proven by different customers. A second segment that we are providing is the control terminals. Those are the consoles that enable to operate the mission of the drones or robotics from remote. You use them in order to operate the entire mission, to guide the platform, maintain contact with it, and operate its whereabout and its activity. It's a recent solution that we adopted and provided to the market with our core technologies. And today we have over 7 products already in market, and recently signed some significant customers on those products family. Those are the hardware pieces that we provide on the left side, but we are also entering the software and cybersecurity elements of this market. The cybersecurity is the cyber solution that Mobilicom will bring to the market in the coming weeks. The cybersecurity is enabling the way to protect your platform, protect your data, and protect the communications to the platform. And by that, enable safe operations of drones, robotics, and autonomous platform. Something that is badly needed in the industry that will never scale up and be secure enough for CASA or FAA or others to approve it, or for insurance company to secure it, only if you will have a well-protected cybersecurity solution on board of those platforms. Much like this revolution happened in other markets, it's happening in the drones and robotics, and we are in the front of this revolution. We also providing software solution and cloud services solution to this market with a unique controlled and combo products that were released just in the beginning of 2021. And on top of all of those, we also provide annual support programs and upgrade and post-market services that enable continuity and operation of the deployment by customers. So we can safely say that today, Mobilicom is also already holding significant portion of the drones and robotics key components, and we are providing as an end-to-end a solution provider the building blocks to enable drone manufacturers or robotics manufacturers to build a platform based on our core technologies. If you look on such a drone or robotics operation, you can see that in this illustration that we are based on different areas. There is the elements in the sky or elements on the ground. There are the operators, there are the viewers, there are the cloud that enable monitoring from the back office and so forth. The pieces of Mobilicom are scattered around every piece of the entire solution from end to end. And that gives us a unique position in the market to offer variety of solution, and by that empower our solution to customer and provide them with the best of breed performance as well as cost-effective solution for their services. And this unique position enables us to master and hold the industry from all ends and offer additional services as the market is evolving forward. Some of the customers that we are serving today and already embedded in are well-known customers in the United States, in Europe, Israel, and even in Asia Pacific. We have few in leading countries like Singapore and so forth. You can see here good brand names leading billions of dollars companies in sales. For example, FLIR is an S&P, FLIR Teledyne is a S&P 500 company with billions of dollars in sales in the United States that after a beauty contest chose Mobilicom for the US solution that they are providing to the federal market as well as the government market in the United States. And we believe that will be a very important growth factor going forward. Everybody familiar with our deals with Elbit that were published and we will review in a moment, that shows our significant growth in the market with tier 1 provider of billions of dollars in this field, and such as others like Airbus and Sensis and Samsung and so forth. So you can see that we are well positioned within large conglomerates in the market that are building their presence in the drones or robotics and intend to be leaders that will win this market. By having our solution in their new designs and new platforms, we are securing our market share and our growth for the future. When we are looking on the drones or robotic market, we can see that this is the time. Why we say that this is the time to invest? We can see on the left side that on the right side, excuse me, that drones or robotics is divided between government business, the red one, commercial business and commercial industrial business, the blue one, and the gray is the consumer business. We are not in the gray consumer business at all. We are currently based with Mobilicom and Skyhopper by Mobilicom in the red and blue sections. You can see that although government business is existing for many years, it's growing from year to year, and the use of drones, robotics, and autonomous platforms on government application is growing. But most interesting is the commercial industrial sector, which is ramping up rapidly, and we will see more and more use cases of drones or robotic being used in the market, helping to save money and better service different industries. On the left side, we can see the scalability of the market over the coming years, with jumps in shipments of units of drones to the commercial market from 500,000 to 4,000,000, 800% ramp up by 2025. And you can see that the market is evolving and rapidly growing to billions of dollar market that we are pursuing. More than that, we can see that several trends already happened just recently that secure what we believe the market, and we believe that it will happen faster than later those days. In the defense or government business, we see that it's being adopted right now by armies instead of the Air Force, and armies tend to have large-scale mass deployments, and that's important. For Mobilicom, which we are targeting the small to medium-sized drones and robots. Chinese vendors, DJI, which was leader in the market in the consumer business, is banned and unable to be used in the United States and other markets by government laws. That leaves room for our partners and customers to grow and establish their presence and win the market in those markets. And we see that cybersecurity has become a vital piece of the chain before ramp up will succeed. On the commercial aspect, just recently, the European Union, the European Union Aviation Agency, unified the entire sky of the European Union, the 28 countries, for one rule, and established guidelines for the use of drones or robotics, and unleash its regulatory effects and allow the use of drones from January this year. And that opened a very important piece of the puzzle, which is the regulation, and able to scale up and deploy solution based on known standard and regulation that you can duplicate across all the 28 nations of the European Union. United States will follow that, so that's a big shift in the market that is, of course, signaling that the market is happening now. More important than that, you can also see that the behemoth companies of the world, the Boeing or the Googles of the world or the Amazons, are all started to plan, deploy, or test drones, robotic services to secured operation in their fields. And that means that they are putting hundreds of millions of dollars to develop such services, and they will be buying drones or robotics from customers of Mobilicom, and that will also fuel the market and shows that based on market information, based on recent regulation changes, and based on the fact that those are pushing forward all the behemoth customers, the market is now and not later, and we are lucky to be here on the inflection point. The go-to-market Mobilicom strategy is very simple. In the first stage, there is the interaction where we are working with leaders of the market and engaging with them. In the second phase, this is one of the most important phases of our strategy. This is the design win. We are chosen by formal bid process or by beauty contest into some of the customers. Some of the names and brand names, the large one that you saw, passed the phase with us, and Mobilicom was chosen to be a vital provider of key building blocks into their platform. And this, although in this stage, the revenue is not high, it's several tens of thousands of dollars. This is the most significant phase because their new design of the new platform will be based around one of our core technology components. And that means that once they move to production, we are enjoying the ramp up of the market. This is the most important piece of the puzzle. Then when they are winning scalability and started to produce and mass produce this design, Mobilicom is ramping up on its sales as they are buying more and more of those designing components. The next phase, phase number 4, is when we are upselling and expanding. The fact that Mobilicom is an end-to-end provider and have other building blocks, core technology factors to the same market, enable us to push and additional components to the same platforms or to expand to additional platforms. And you will see example for that. That locks the customers to us, promise them better services, better performance, and lower risk as well as lower cost for them. And that's all for win-win for all sides. and that enable us higher scalability in our business by upselling and expanding into their market. So let's see how this strategy worked for us in the recent business wins that we announced. Plasan is a well-known manufacturer of armed vehicles mainly for United States, but also working over 20 countries worldwide in the recent 30 years. The company recently announced that they are releasing a new design of autonomous vehicle. This security vehicle that is securing compounds as well as borders and other areas could be operated from remote. Mobilicom was able to design in two pieces, not just one, two pieces of Mobilicom offering in day one to the design. One is our controller, the ground control station that operate the console that operate the vehicle from remote. And the other one is the communication and data link piece that enable the operation from remote. Those two are embedded within the vehicle and enable its operation from remote. In addition, we also have additional pieces that operate additional systems on board of that, which means that in a single design, in a single autonomous or teleoperated vehicle, we have numerous products in. The solution was already integrated and they were already showcasing the solution to key customers, including the United Emirates, which they are competing on large volume projects over there. And once they're ramping up their manufacturing, we will enjoy that as well. A second example of the same design win approach and wins is ST Engineering. ST Engineering is one of the largest aerospace electronics and engineering groups in Asia Pacific. It's based or headquartered in Singapore with 100 subsidiaries worldwide. It's making $7 billion of revenue on a yearly base and one of the largest Singaporean companies in the stock exchange. They have large activity in the unmanned area, including elements for the sea, elements for the sky, and elements for on the ground. Their ground robotics division shows Mobilicom's offering. Again, two pieces, the controller or terminal and the communication for its operation. And we now are in the phase of design in. They bought those solutions and integrating them with our help and services into their design to offer such robotics solutions for their market. Another design win that announced recently in this quarter was Rafael, one of the leading, again, billions of dollars in sales company worldwide. They are known for their unmanned solution worldwide. And they initial phase in integration and design with Mobilicom is also built on different products, but similar on the hardware aspect, which enable us in the future to scale up to the software pieces of Mobilicom. And this initial design win already started with larger volume of $150,000, which means that they are not just locking the design around us, but also building initial systems to enable market penetration and promotion to their customers worldwide. And that's showing their belief in the product solution and by scaling immediately to larger volumes of production or initial production demos. Another update that we released this quarter was on Elbit Systems. Elbit signed with us a multi-million-dollar contract a few years ago. Again, $1 billion in sales company, worldwide leader in drones and robotics on the defense side and government operation. They are selling into large, they already designed with us project, which is exceeding $2 million, where Mobilicom was chosen for one of the pieces, the ground control station. This is used by 3 of their platforms, the drone and 2 fixed wing elements. We are serving them all. So we are designing into 3 platforms under this contract. This contract is already in the next phase. So it's already in step number 3 of the revolution of Mobilicom with 7 figures of billions of dollars. And any project that those platforms will be offered worldwide will have Mobilicom controller inside. We just recently in this quarter continued our delivery program with them on a quarterly base. Again, we deliver over 200 systems with a value of almost $500,000 of the contract, initial contract that we had with them. And we will see progress with Elbit on other fronts, and we will show how that once you enter and go with them and they are growing, you grow with them like this project or this win contract shows, you are able to scale up with them. So one of the things that happened recently as well was on the top of the other success we had with Elbit, we managed to expand to additional platform, their unmanned boats solution with different product by Mobilicom, which is the communication and networking solution. And by that, we showcase that the strategy that we crafted is working. First, you penetrate with one of the building blocks, and then you are able to scale up with them. And after scaling up, you can upsell and expand to additional divisions and additional products of Mobilicom. And this is exactly what we've seen. The design win that we won for those unmanned ships are already going for deployment and execution to their customers. Therefore, it started immediately with almost $300,000 of initial contract from Mobilicom to supply those special maritime communication platforms to enable the operation of unmanned boats from remote. So that's example of another design win that is scaling right now to significant money. MOBILICOM'S teams is a team that on the board level as well as on the management level executed growth of companies from small cap to large cap. Our directors already manage private as well as public companies and brought them to billions of dollars in value. Our execution and management team is built from senior people from the industry that scaled different businesses in the past. For example, in the recent COVID-19 year, there is a big hard issue of production. Although our manufacturing is done in Asia Pacific, it was hard to travel or almost impossible, but we managed to scale up our production capability based on the project and program that we won. And Boaz, which was the operational and production manager for Verifone, the largest credit card machine company in the world. So he was in charge over there, and we use his wisdom and capability to scale our production elsewhere in the world and ramp up our sales and production, but maintaining the same gross margin or very high gross margin that we have. And doing that already in the COVID year. So that's one example of many of our senior management team that scale companies and will be able to scale Mobilicom as we sign more and more contract as we see it today. Recently, we looked in this quarter another investment round. The investment will enable us to grow our strategy going forward for 2023 and reach a cash flow positive and profitable company. The company, PSAGOT, for those that are not familiar, is a leading international investment house. It's owned by a British large investment house. They are managing PSAGOT themselves is managing over $70 billion. They decided to invest in Mobilicom and take the entire round by themselves because first, they believe in the drones and robotics space and the revolution that is happening now. And second, they really like Mobilicom's strategy of an end-to-end provider that have hardware, cyber, and software elements and coming to the market with portfolio of solution and could be one-stop shop for the customers that build the products and the platforms. And that unique position grabbed their attention, and they decided to invest and they will be able to support the company going forward if that will be needed, although the money that were invested is building a large long-term capability for the company to grow and scale up its business. The use of those funding will be mainly for sales, marketing worldwide. So we'll do more sales, more marketing, that's it. We will increase our sales force in Europe and our customer success team to support the growth of the European market based on the standardization shift over there and opening the sky and the land for deployments. We will release and launch the cybersecurity solution of Mobilicom and bring it to market to different vendors. And that will be a big growth vector on recurring revenue model for Mobilicom in the most lucrative piece of cybersecurity into the autonomous platform market. We will also promote the combo solution and cloud services that were launched earlier this year, and implement Mobilicom's strategy for organic and inorganic growth going forward. If you witnessed the result that we released just a week ago, the 4C results of mid-year for us, because we are reporting on, we are year-end December financial company. So this is the second quarter for us. You can see that cash in hand, we have $5.5 million. The total cash receipts is $2.2 million. That 1.8 is coming from customers, and almost $500,000 is coming from international R&D grants given to Mobilicom by different leading organizations. You can also see that on the last quarter, there is significant growth on customer receipts as well as funding. And we also maintain very large backlog going forward. So if you take the volume of what we already received and collected, in addition to the backlog that we are having, you can see the ramp up that we already are showing today in the numbers if you compare it to the COVID year of 2020. So although we are in COVID year 2021, we already showing significant growth that is built on those success stories that we released recently to the market. And it's seen by those deals that we signed and the revenue growth that we are showing. So to wrap up our, To wrap up the presentation, Mobilicom is uniquely positioned in a market that is growing rapidly right now, that is showing inflection point as we speak, and we expect it to grow to tens of billions of dollars in the next 5 years. So it's the right timing for the right market. We are provider of end-to-end key component technology solutions for those manufacturers, and we enable them to produce their platform based on our components. We already showed market traction and signed contracts with billions of dollars companies worldwide that base their new designs and solution into this market on Mobilicom core technologies and lock their designs around us. So as they grow, we will grow. It's based on a portfolio of patents and know-how technologies that already proven, received, and based on multiple products that already in the market. And we have initial large conglomerates already in market signed with us. And that shows that we are able to build and operate and win based on our strategy, and showcase that our strategy is working and growing. The recent 2021 ramp up numbers surely shows that we are in the right path for large organic growth, and we'll continue with that going forward. Recent announcement that we've made are showing those things. You can find them, of course, on the ASX, and by that see Mobilicom's success story in the markets. Any questions so far?
Yes, we have had a couple of questions come in, Oren. So this is from Katrina. She says, how will the introduction of 5G impact or provide opportunities for your product suite?
So that's a great question. 5G is seen as one of the biggest changes in communication, commercial communication, as well as consumer communication worldwide. One of the building blocks that we are providing to the market, which is the cloud networking solution, is built on cellular capability as well. So we have our own mesh networking, which enables you to operate your drones or robotics where infrastructure is not existing, like fires in rural Australia, or mining if you want to operate it, or industrial sites, or sometimes in the city, but not being dependent on such infrastructure. But we also have a portfolio of solution that is working on cellular, including 4G right now. And our roadmap is to upgrade it to 5G, and by that have the two worlds. So on the communication pieces of Mobilicom, which is one of the building blocks we are having out of few critical building blocks for this industry, 5G is an essential part. So we will use it as we are using 4G today, and we'll enable it to our customers. and our combo is uniquely positioned to grab this market share as well.
Okay, another question. What has the average operating margin you've been able to obtain for recent orders? And has COVID been impacting your supply chain?
So regarding the Mobilicom is operating on, we have two aspects. We have the hardware pieces of the company and we have the software pieces of the company, and cyber is part of that. On the hardware end, where we started, we are showing gross margin of over 60%, something between 60 to 70%. We managed to continue to keep such very high gross margin. Usually typical numbers on that market is 30 to 40%. Over 60 is showing that we are selling not the hardware, we are selling the wisdom behind the hardware that we are able to sell. And we managed to continue to preserve this high gross margin based on the fact that our team was able to scale up production in Asia Pacific during COVID year and overcome the challenges. And that was a great proof of our management team skills to expand as we sign more contract and deliver on time to those customers, which was essential portion. To the second part of your question on the issues of supply chain, yes, the industry or the entire world is suffering from supply chain issues. The aspects of Mobilicom on the hardware, of course, are infected from that. We are doing different activities in order to minimize the risk and minimize the delivery issues based on that. And we hope that as we manage to scale up production and solve the issues in 2021, we'll be able to do the same thing with the issues that we are suffering right now. It's unknown yet to the industry how long it will continue, the supply chain issue, but we are building different programs to tackle this and address this issue.
Another question on margins, saying what sort of gross profit margins are you targeting once your scale can be achieved?
So Mobilicom's is targeting, and we showcase that already we produce manufacturing capacities, large manufacturing capacities with partners in Asia Pacific. The shift to Asia Pacific from doing things in Israel or Europe or United States to Asia enable us to reduce cost structure, to reduce the production cost of the company, and enable scalability. And then enable us to maintain similar gross margin, very high one, during scaling up in numbers. And that was a very, very important building blocks going forward, because we already have production capability for large volumes to cater to our large corporates we're working with and maintaining this gross margin.
Another question, what sort of news flow do you expect to be delivering to the market over the rest of the calendar year? I suppose what could be the next material catalyst, Oren?
So if you follow on our strategy and it's and what I can reveal to you on that, and I want to focus on this strategy, is the strategy is showing exactly what we intend to do. We intend to win additional key large corporates in the market. It doesn't matter for us to lock more and more small players. We don't care about the small players as essential building block going forward. We want to lock the big players in the market. The Airbus of the world that we locked, the Elbit, the FLIR, and such like. So we intend to additional ones. We intend to move with them towards 2022 and 2023 to ramp up stages, because once they are shifting from design win, which is in the tens of thousands, ramp up is hundreds of thousands and more, and expansion is millions of dollars. So we intend to shift more and more customers from step 2 to step 3 to step 4. And by that show the 7 figures growth of contracts. And more than that, we intend to bring the other elements of our strategy, which is bring on time our cybersecurity and position ourselves as leaders in the recurring revenue model of cyber and software. And by that, improve our entire company gross margin and create another growth vector for the company and position ourselves as an end-to-end provider. So the next releases will be on that, showing additional growth and revenue ramps up. And of course, if we would like to show significant growth over the coming 3 years based on our strategy of organic growth and ramp up with the market.
All right, Oren, thank you so much. We'll end it there. That was a great presentation. Really appreciate it from Mobilicom.
Thank you very much for the time.